Hello, Internetians. My name is JustKurt, ultraplayer, and I am your code to the Phillies. Saldo. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back once again to the APA. This is our Draft 3 draft analysis for the Season 5 of the APA. If you're still not familiar with how the APA is doing it, real quick, we're just doing 3 drafts, one for every 4 weeks of the 12-week season. And if you make playoffs, you get to make a team from out of the 3 drafts that you made for playoffs to run with and hopefully win. So, this is going to be our 3rd draft. Our 2nd draft went really well. Like, we went 4-0. It was really nice. We picked ourselves up from the 2-2, and now we're 6-2, doing very well in the season. And now we're here for our last draft. Really happy. Really excited for this one. This one's a lot of fun, honestly. This one's just really fun. Has a lot of good threats, has a lot of good hitters. So, I'm going to try and be quick with this because you're probably seeing this at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I am recording it this like 2 hours before that. So, I'm really behind. I meant to record it last night, but like I didn't want to record it while everyone in my house was asleep again. So, I just woke up. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the draft. Draft number 3. We were, once again, pick number 2. We were there. I was like, all right. I didn't get Tapu Koko last time. You already know that I'm going for it. And you already know that I went and pick 1 again. I was so mad. Like, I had 2 opportunities with a really high pick to potentially get Tapu Koko. And it fell away from me. And I'm sad, boys. I'm really sad, boys. But the original idea that I had to go with it, which is a very common thing, but we'll get into that later, it's still something that I wanted to do. So I just changed up my plan a little bit for what I wanted with Draft 3, and I kind of rolled with it. So, wait. Don't file your taxes. Why are you filing your taxes? Don't file your taxes. I forgot to loop it. Okay. let's stop pacing around. So I really had a good plan that I wanted to go with. And ultimately, the plan actually went really well. I didn't get sniped too much in this one, which is nice. So, the first mon that I drafted, I was pick number 2, like, why am I not going to pick something like this? I'm going to grab Leader Geo. So Leader Geo, we all know what it does. It's one of the best Pokemon in the game, especially with an open Z crystal policy. It's really nice. Being able just to click Gradinium, Rockium, Flyinium, you know, the 3 that you're going to use most often just to nuke stuff when you're trying to set up and win. It's a good dual dancer. It's a good choice Garfer. It immediately gives me about... It immediately gives me both rocks and defog, which is nice. It gives me U-turn, which is something I really wanted. I wanted a couple of U-turners or volt switchers on this team. Just give me as much as possible. When if I potentially make playoffs, I'd like to have, you know, some good volt turn on the team. But it's a really good mon. I've used it a couple times here in the recent. One being in, like, Token Minorities March Madness, I think. No. Did I use in March Madness? I think I used in Summer Showdown. Or something like that. Brawl for All, maybe? I don't know. It was an Intimidate spam team. It was great. But I also used it, if you remember, in the PBL, the Pseudo Battle League. It went really well there. That was also Intimidate spam, which is nice. And then, of course, I used it in the UDL, which, even though it was a bunch of Ubers, and it was a free Ubers draft, it was still, you know, doing really good. So, I'm really excited for Landorus. Gives me a lot of stuff right off the bat. Gives me a good first pick. And when it came back to me, obviously, I'm going to be waiting a long time for all my picks, but I get to basically make 2 in a row. Especially since the person in front of me, the person who got pick number 1 was Geo, who we know has done mono. What did he do mono of? What is Fairy? Did he do mono Fairy? What was the first one? I don't remember. He did a mono. And then the second one was mono dragon, obviously. And third one, I didn't realize until pick 3, or until after I picked this next mon, that he wasn't doing a mono type. He was doing, it eventually ended up being mono speed. So that kind of made it easy. So I kind of felt like I always had the wheel, as long as I knew to pick fast mons before him. So I basically always had the wheel, and it was really nice. And when it came back to me, I knew one mon that I really wanted because I thought it would offer a lot to both this team and a potential playoff team. Because I do really pretty well with this mon, and it helps fit my playstyle. of like how I build and how I like getting rid of stuff. So I ended up drafting Gothitelle. I really like Gothitelle. Shadow Tag is a really good ability, allowing you to trap stuff and basically remove it so long as they aren't carrying Shed Shell and they aren't specifically prepped to beat any Gothitelle set 1v1, which can be kind of hard just because it can run a couple different sets. But I'm gonna try not to run the Trick Scarf PP Stall set, but you never know. But anyway, I love having Gothitelle. It's not really much to talk about. It comes in, it traps stuff, and it was able to remove it, and it's really good for setting up win cons like that. And it's the reason why I loved it. I used it in the 8-tier league. That was a really fun team, and it did a lot of work on that team. It was like Mega DNC, Scizor, Talonflame, like a couple of hard hitters like that, and then I had Gothitelle, be able to remove stuff that I didn't want to deal with, so that those mons could go ham. And it went well. I went undefeated in the regular season, so that's Gothitelle. Super excited for it. And the next one I wanted to get, I wasn't completely sold on the plan that I had yet, so I knew I wanted a couple things. Once again, I wanted spikes. I definitely wanted spikes for these last 4 weeks. I didn't have spikes last time, or I didn't bring spikes, I don't think. Did I have spikes? I don't remember. I wanted spikes, because I like spikes. If you know me, I love Hazard Stack. I love just being able to click spikes anytime I want, because spikes can be a win con in themselves. But I ended up drafting Ferrothorn out of Tier 2. Tier 2 Ferrothorn is always nice, of course, because it's such a good mon. It's easy to prep for it to an extent, which is why I kind of get nervous around using it. When it comes to Pokemon with 4 times weaknesses, I'm always scared to use them when it's a slower mon. Like Landorus Therian. If you run Trick Scarf Landorus Therian, it's more of a 50-50 whether or not you switch it on an ice move, right? Like say you're trying to switch it in on Jolteon. If you switch it on Jolteon while it goes for Thunderbolt, well, you could be Choice Scarfed, and then it doesn't matter that he has Hidden Power Ice because you're gonna Earthquake him first. With Ferrothorn, it doesn't have that 50-50 because they can always just Thunderbolt you as you switch in and then click a Fire Range. So it's always a nerve-wracking thing for me, but Ferrothorn is still really good. It has one of my favorite moves in the entire game in Leaf Seed. It gives me another rocker, which is nice, and a very reliable rocker at that. One that can always just about always run Stealth Rocks. It gives me a mon that can run some surprise stuff like, surprise, I'm Cursed, or surprise, I'm Choice Banded Gyro Ball. Shout out to Gembad. Oh, no, he runs Cursed, doesn't he? I don't remember. Anyway, gives me a Spiker, gives me a nice mon to come in and just deal with a variety of threats. It also helps form a really nice thing with Landorus, where you don't know if you want to run Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Fire, and that just makes things a whole lot better. So, when it came back to me, I was tossing around some ideas at the front office. I had a couple of things in mind that I wanted to run with. And specifically, after convincing myself of it, I thought, obviously this is the third out of third draft. I'm not going to get another chance to do this. I wanted to have a little something on the side that I could bring maybe to a match or two, and maybe all of them. But I wanted to have on the side. I just wanted it to be there. And I drafted Pelipper. When I do rain, when I do weather teams, like when I did sand, or when I do rain, I don't like the team being so overly centralized around it, and I don't like the team being reliant on it, which is kind of how you're going to see the team ends up unfolding here. I have mons such as Ferrothorn and one other mon later down the road they're going to see will benefit from the rain, that can, take something away from the rain. But neither of these Pokemon are reliant on it. Like, Ferrothorn can be a great mon without rain, no matter what. So, whenever I have stuff like rain, I want it to just, be an option I have. So, typically, I grab Pelipper, and then I grab a Rain Sweeper or two, and then if I have a mon that can benefit from it, I can have a mon that benefits from it. When I did, I'm going to reference so many other leagues, DGBA. That was a really fun team. They unpanned Darkrai with no Nasty Plot or, Sleep Moves. It was really fun. So I grabbed that. I had Mega Alakazam. I had Pelipper, Kingdra, Kabutops, and that was a nice small little Raincore that I had on the side. And I also had Ferrothorn in that league. Anyway, what else did I have? Scolipede, I had Gorgeist, I had Nidoqueen, I had, like, Clefable. The team was completely broken. But anyway, so Pelipper. Gives me another Volt Turner, which is nice. Obviously, gives me the Rain Setter, gives me another Defogger. Very, very nice. Mainly here because it's a Rain Setter, which is always great. And if I'm going to grab Pelipper, you already know on the wheel that I ended up grabbing Kingdra. Having Pelipper plus Kingdra is just really, really nice. Kingdra is really ridiculously strong. Under the rain, it's really hard to switch into, which is always nice. And it has some nice options, honestly. Like, I loved running Kingdra in that one league just because it did so much work, and I'm super excited to run it again. So, not much to talk about there. It's Kingdra. It comes in, it clicks Spec Surf, and it blows something through the roof. So, as it came back to me, I kind of had an idea of how I wanted some of the rest of the team to go. I wanted Kabutops, because that's my favorite physical rain sweeper. When I grab rain, I like having just one special, one physical, and then just moving on. So I ended up wanting Kabutops at Tier 5. I knew that's one of my Tier 5s that I wanted. I knew I needed a Mega, and I had an idea of what Mega I wanted to get, and I knew I wanted it soon. I wanted, if I did get it, and I did, I wanted something to fill my awkward speed gap, because you're going to notice that between Landorus and this next mon, or not Landorus, but some other monsters, there's a big speed gap that I want to take care of. And then I was just like going to start patching up holes here and there. I needed a fairy, I needed to just patch up a hole in the whole team altogether. And yeah, we're going to go with it. So the next mon I drafted, I knew what Mega I wanted Mega Manectric. The reason I wanted Mega Manectric was it gave me some extra points for a mon that's not too bad. Like, I rag on Mega Manectric a lot because I think it's a bad Pokemon. But when it's extra points for you to get it, when you have something, when you can combine it with both Rain and Landorus Therian, you know, it has its value in the fact that it's giving you extra points. And there's also not a lot of other Megas that I really wanted, I'll be honest, with this specific build that was, you know, around. This is also a mon. This isn't the specific mon I was talking about, but this is a mon that can benefit from rain, right? So if you have rain constantly up, of course you can click Thunder instead of Thunderbolt and have that extra power. But regardless, Manectric is really, really fast, which is always nice. It's a decent electric type. It doesn't have the greatest versatility, but it does have something, which is always cool. I always try and find unique ways to, you know, make it work. But of course, almost always, the standard Mega Manectric will always be a really good Mega Manectric because it's what it has access to. So I got Mega Manectric. That gave me a nice Volt Turn core with Pelipper, Landorus, and Manectric. I ended up grabbing one more Volt Turner. It's going to be the next mon, but I'm going to get to that in a second. Right now, the team is looking nice, right? The team's looking pretty nice. Like I said, I wanted a fairy. I wanted to patch it that speed tier. I wanted just a little bit more bulk. Just one more nice, good, fat mon for responding to certain threats. And then I wanted my Kabutops, and then I didn't know what else I wanted. I wanted a blank. I needed a tier 3. So the next mon I drafted, I brought it to the final office like, okay, we're going to need a fairy type soon because they're going to start going, and I don't have one. And, you know, a lot of my favorite fairies were already gone or I'd already used them. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I just woke up. Hashtag dislike for yawning. I didn't want to grab Gardevoir because I felt like it created, you know, another ghost weakness, which I didn't really want because, spoiler alert, we don't have a dark type on this team. And it's very, very not good. I'm sorry. But it wouldn't be the best having multiple ghost weaknesses, so I didn't really want Gardevoir. And I think it was Erob who pointed out, he's like, I know I'm on there, like, I really like with this team based on how it's going and everything. And he suggested, and I grabbed Comfey. So Comfey is really cool. Having priority draining kits is always nice. Being able to Calm Mind up is always really nice. Has a nice Spadef stat. And decent speed for something that would typically be like a bulky pivot kind of mon. Helps me not be weak to dragons as much. With the fact that draining kits will out-prioritize it. So if I have something that's like a Haxorus that's going to be threatening, all I need is some chip damage so I can revenge it with Draining Kiss. Gives me a Cleric and something with Aromatherapy. Gives me another Volt Turner, which is nice. Gives me a Calm Mind Sweeper. Gives me a Defogger. Comfey is really nice. It doesn't have the greatest stats, but that's why it's a Tier 4 Pokemon. So, Comfey is really cool. I like that. Gives me a little bit helps me just a little bit close that speed gap that I have right now. So now my speed gap is, you know, Comfey at 100 and then Mega Man Electric at 135. I definitely wanted to close that, and someone suggested a couple things, but I went with my tier 5 pretty early. As you can see, I still don't have my other tier 3, but I went with my tier 5 early because it's a fast mon, and I did not want Geo to snipe it from me. So we ended up grabbing Tauros. So Tauros is really cool with the Sheer Force Life Orb combination. I love Sheer Force Life Orb. I think it's a great combination. Just I don't really like Life Orb all that much, so having something with Sheer Force is always really nice to have. So, and it can run mixed, even though it only has 40 special attack. That 40 special attack can do a lot of damage when it's 4 times effective, with like Ice Beam or Fire Blast or something. Always really cool. Good at spamming normal moves with stuff like Body Slam and or Rock Slide, or... Woo! I'm sorry. Rock Climb or Body Slam. Always really cool. It's a good breaker. Gives you that nice speed tier that I was looking for. I'm super excited to actually have this Pokemon because it's I haven't used it in a long time, and it's so much fun whenever I use it. But on the way back, I needed, based on how my points were going to line up, I had a tier 1, obviously, and then a tier 2. So I only had so many points left. I ended up knowing what I was going to get at this point. I knew what the last 3 months were going to be. So it actually didn't go, none of them went. I wanted a Pokemon. I ended up getting KayCreigh. KayCreigh is, of course, really, really good. Really nice fat mon coming in on, you know, just about anything it needs to. Great physical wall. Great at setting up T-Spikes. Has really nice potentials for Trick Room, which is cool because I do have a couple of slower mons. And mons that could take advantage of Trick Room. Great for clicking Memento. Memento would be really nice because I do have something like Landorus on my team. And I would love to get easy setup with that. It's a very good mon. Very nice physical wall. Can run some Spadef sets too, taking on like special normal type Pokemon, etc. As long as they're not scrappy. So, very excited for this. Very excited for KayCreigh. I think it really fits in with the Ferrothorn. It gives me another mon that will that will merge well with Ferrothorn because it gives me another fighting resist, specifically on the fighting side or physical side. That way Landorus doesn't feel less pressure to do it. So, the next mon I wanted, I really wanted to try this mon. Like, when I started the APA and I was like, oh, 3 drafts. I knew that on one of them I wanted this Pokemon just because it's a mon I've been wanting to try out recently. I think it's like I've been wanting to try out sleeper picks, right? Like, mons that you don't see drafted a lot but do well in their own respective tiers. And this is definitely one that I wanted to grab, so I ended up just grabbing Toxicroak, because why not? Like, Toxicroak's really cool. It's a great SD sweeper, of course, and with open Z's, it's really nice because you can run Z-Gunk Shot or Z-Train Punch or something like that. That's really nice. It has a nice speed tier at 85, not the greatest, but it does have that priority Sucker Punch, which is something I was really looking for. I like having Sucker Punch on the team, just being able to help check like stuff like Gengar and stuff. Its Spadef set is, or special attack set, it's a special defense set, is trash too. Special attack set is trash. I really like the physical set more than anything, so very excited to have this Pokemon on the team. It might not come, probably won't, because like it's a bad Pokemon. I love you, Toxicroak. It's kind of not that great, but I really want to draft it. Maybe I'll bring it one time just for shits and giggles. Bring SD and kick some ass. So last mon, I already said multiple times I'm going to be drafting this mon. Kabutops, big shocker. Physical Rain Sweeper. Of course, I really wanted it on this team with the Pelipper and the Kingdra, and gives me another rocker. Gives me my only Rapid Spinner, and just gives me something that can spam water type moves. It also has Aqua Jet, so Aqua Jet in the rain would be really, really nice. Should I think that something will be able to outspeed me and such. Altogether, guys, I really like this team. I wanted to get through this fast, and it's about 20 minutes in, so it's a really quick draft analysis. That's the team I'm going to be using for the last 4 weeks. Make sure you tune in this Saturday as we take on Miticus and his Boston Beedrills for week 9 with this team. Really excited for it. The other 3 people we'll be facing, we do not have an easy schedule, guys. We have Miticus, and then we have Gator, and then we get Dirt. We get Dirt. And then we have, to finish off our season, will be Emvee and his San Diego Chargers. So, looking forward to that. But with that, let me know what you guys think of the team. Let me go the draft, everything. And wish us luck. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.